Hey, welcome to Air Cooled Anything. Today I'm fitting the main crank seal behind the flywheel and also fitting the flywheel. The flywheel in question is a chromoly dual weight flywheel which was supplied to me by CB Performance, and it's the one they suggested. I guess it's their product and they wanted me to buy it, so I bought it. It's basically the same as the way I'm going to fit it with the weights on. It's the same as a standard weight flywheel. It's chromoly, so extra tough, which is good. But a stock flywheel would have probably done the trick just as well. The point of this product is that if I was going to take this motor out of my bus and put it in a lighter car, or I wanted to like get up to revs quicker, and like I had a lighter car that was able to do that, then you'd take the weights off and then you've got a lighter flywheel, so it just gets the revs up higher quicker because it's able to push the lighter vehicle forwards. But this is in a heavy old bus, Westphalia conversion with family on board. There's no need for a lightened flywheel at all. But that's what I've got to work with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fit the main seal. Now to do that, there's lots of different ways to do it, but to do that I've got one of these seal fitting tools with a special recessed area which fits over the dowel pins, so you haven't got to take the dowel pins out or try and hammer it in square with a mallet, which is what I've done before in the past. And I've had this for a few years, and I think it costs like £8 and it's invaluable. Engines on the stand. The first thing to do is to fit your 3 shims which set the end floats, which we've already measured, already done that, dialed that in, so they've been cleaned up, and I've lubed them up with some super duper secret sauce, which is basically STP and oil mix 50-50. So that's the first thing. The next thing to do is to put in the seal itself. Before we put the seal in, I'm going to put on some Permatex aviation former gasket, and you just put a very thin coat, try not to get it outside, around the inside of the case. And being sure not to get any in the oil drain away. Don't need much. I'm just spreading it around evenly. And I think you can even fit these without any sealant. I don't recommend it. Brand new seal, make sure it's clean. Then we'll get the Permatex. And we'll just cut some on the outside of the seal itself. Then we just want to put a little bit of oil around the crank, just because it's difficult to get it in. Once you don't want too much because you don't want it dripping down onto your Permatex. It's difficult to do once the seal's in. Then we get the seal, we just get it started. It hasn't got to be straight at this point. Just press it in, hopefully it won't fall out. Then we get the tool with the recess facing in towards the dowel pins, and it simply goes on top of the seal like this. Just get it started. And it couldn't be easier. You simply just tighten it down until the tool hits the dowel pins. It's a 36mm socket or spanner, and you just wind it in until it won't wind in anymore, and that's it, job done. So easy with this tool. As I say, it only cost a few quid. If you haven't got one, get one. There we go. There we go. Seal in. Wiping up any excess Permatex. Not that you have to, but it's good to keep these things looking neat and tidy, isn't it? There we go. Seal installed. Easy as that. So with the main seal fitted, the next thing to do is to fit the O-ring to the flywheel. I just put a little bit of secret sauce just to help lube things on the O-ring, and then it just literally pops in here. Hopefully it fits. Yep. Now the only thing left to do is to torque down that nut to 350 foot-pounds. There's 3 ways I know of doing it. One is to have a torque wrench which will go up to that sort of pressure, and I haven't got one of those and they're very expensive. Another way is to just use guesswork and a little bit of maths. A 4-foot long pole with the weight of a man on it is roughly equal to 320, or 3 foot, sorry, a 3-foot long breaker bar with your entire weight on it, if you're a grown man, is roughly a guess at the right sort of torque. I don't like the guesswork. The other way to do it is using a torque meister tool, one of these things, and you using the teeth of the flywheel to create the torque, and it multiplies the torque in the middle, but the torque at the end by 9. So if you put 10 foot-pounds on this end, you get 90 foot-pounds on it in the middle, which is what I always use to great effect. But this is a 38mm nut, and the stock nuts and the tools, the torque meister tool comes with a 36. So I've made a very rough tool where I've welded on the end of, I cut the end of, I bought a deep socket, 38mm, cut the end off, and now I have a 38mm socket as well, and I've welded it onto the torque meister. So we'll see if my welds are going to hold and if the tool's going to work. And I've used an old one which I had problems using before. I could never get this one to work, so I bought a new one which works well. So I don't know why it never worked. Maybe just me being an idiot. So we're going to try it on this. So if it's 350 foot-pounds, here we need to put in 38.8 foot-pounds on this end. So I've set my torque wrench to that, and we are going to give it a go and see if it's going to work. If you're interested, I'm going to post up a clip about this, about making this. It's very simple. Obviously you can imagine how I make it, but I thought it'd be interesting to some people if they're fitting racing nuts and probably wondering how's the cheapest and best way to do it. So here goes, let's see if this works. But previous experience with this tool, I knew whether it was going to work or not straight away. It used just to slip. Yeah, see, it's slipping. That's what it did before. So it could be this gear here, and I have a brand new one of these gears, so I'm going to take this gear off and put the new one on and see if that works. So I put the new gear on, and you'll see that it's a slightly different colour. Maybe you can't, well you can actually. Slightly different colour to this older tool, and the teeth are slightly different profile, not so flared at the base, and it fits more snugly. The other one was a bit looser, so it wasn't quite fitting properly. And then I put it on, and I thought I pressed record, and I hadn't pressed record, and I torqued it down. So I will show you me torquing it down. I just took this thingy off, the locking device. I should have checked it was recording. So I put it on like this, hold it in the center, And then there you go, 38 foot-pounds this end, 38.8 foot-pounds approximately, nearly 39, 350 foot-pounds at that end. And when it works well. So now the flywheel's all torqued down, I've got the dial gauge indicator out and just testing the end float, and it's the same as it was before, which is all good. So apart from not actually filming the most important bit of the process, torquing it down, although it's not that exciting, it just kind of like moves around a few teeth and then eventually clicks, and you've got it down to the right torque. I'm pretty stoked. That all went well. Yeah, no, I'm happy. So I can move on with putting on the ancillaries now on this engine. I'm gonna probably do the oil cooler, doghouse oil cooler next. Put on the generator stand, alternator stand rather, the fuel block off, and all those sorts of ancillaries. I'm looking forward to getting into that. It's all the nice bits, isn't it? The nice easy bits, you hope. Well, nothing on this engine's been easy, but you hope. Anyway, that's it. Flywheel done. Thanks for watching.